Shall we begin? Oh no, this thing is gonna fall on me.
It looks like it's literally a full-time job to be a bariatric patient. Like, that is not a joke. And it's a hard job. Like, you have to really get into the flow and get used to it and like learn to do other things in your day besides take your vitamins, eat and drink
I'm glad that
because
you
it's
brought that
hard.
up because yesterday I was like doing great with protein, I was doing great with liquid. I was telling you this I think in the group text. And then I decided to go to Target like around 6 o'clock when is normally when I would eat dinner if I hadn't before. And I mean, right now I'm only eating an ounce of food, so that's not really my protein, but it's like my dinner, and then I would either have a shake before or a shake after. Well, what I was about to say about Target before is, so I decided to go to Target, and I finished my drink on the way there, or no, like right after we got there. It took 40 minutes to get there because of traffic, so I had like this big drink with me, and I finished it like probably 10 minutes after we got to the store, and I was like, yeah, like this is great. And then we were in there for like an hour and a half, and then we went to the grocery store and were in there for like 40 minutes, and by the time we got home it was after 9 o'clock, and I still like needed 30 grams of protein. I still needed like 40 ounces of liquid, because from that whole time from like 6:30 to like 9:30 I didn't drink or eat anything, and like I was like, oh, so you can't do anything because like I can't be a good bariatric patient and go to Target unless I like plan ahead and I'm like, okay, I have my drinks for this many hours, and I have, it's just like you can't just do things like on the fly or your other stuff gets messed up.
Exactly.
Should we do
So
like
yeah,
what?
I was just gonna say it's a full-time job. There's a cupboard down here.
Well, let's talk about our like
Stat?
beginning of the call stuff, because
Yeah.
my baby. So today I am 3 weeks post-op, and I'm feeling good.
And do you want to say how much you've lost 3 weeks
Oh yeah,
post-op?
let me see. Let me do a calculator really quick. 12 pounds since surgery
Whoa.
in 3 weeks, which is like, I guess that's good. And then,
Your grandma, she said that's great.
oh, thanks. But since my
That's
pre-op
great.
diet,
It's like 40 or something crazy.
no, not that much. 19.
Ah! That is crazy town.
Yeah, so I
That's
lost 19 pounds from my pre-op diet, and 12 pounds since surgery, and 37 overall from my highest weight.
That's so amazing. That's what I was thinking, the 40, the 37 overall.
Yeah, almost.
That's amazing.
And I'm feeling
And you're
pretty
feeling good, you're looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing now is adjusting to sitting like upright all day, because I was used to either like leaning, like reclining back in my bed, or like walking around. So if I'm driving for too long, it like kind of hurts. Or like, because I have a desk job, so sitting at my desk, like I have to take breaks where I'm like leaning back or like just walking around, obviously. Because it feels almost like a runner's cramp. And then also like, since I'm not walking around as much, like I try and get up at least once an hour, but that's still not that much. So by the end of the day, I feel like I have kind of like gas buildup. Like whenever I get off work, I want to just like pace around the house or like walk around the block to like get the gas out. Because,
Walk around.
Yeah.
I'm spitting everywhere.
Me too. And my incisions are healing really well. The surgical glue is still on the big one and on my belly button one. But It's almost off. I have my post-op appointment tomorrow. My first post-op appointment tomorrow. So.
Oh my gosh.
That'll be tight. I'm still in the pureed stage. I've been very good about following my specific surgeon's plan, which I want to talk more about. I have that in my notes. But I'm eating like an ounce at a time, which I'm still getting most of my protein from shakes and from shakes and from I have this another drink that has protein in it, like another protein drink. And I'm doing really good on my liquids, so I'm able to meet my protein and my liquid goal, or like really close almost every day. Which I'm gonna be just like you, like gold stars across the board, but I know that there will be days like we were just talking about, like that shit is hard, like to do.
I like you.
That's like a soulful version.
Yeah.
Why is your arm like this? I feel like it's MySpace, like where you're just holding them.
I'm covering my drink because there's a fly around this place.
My baby boy. Can you see him?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of possessed things, so I'm trying to just think because he's doing a lot of things that are freaking me out.
He's a perfect angel.
I was telling Pickle that earlier.
That she's a perfect angel?
Mm-hmm. It's so bad. Oh, they're so bad.
Mine's gonna look like that in any second. I know. You need to be lifting weights every day. Just while you're sitting watching a show, just be lifting some weights.
Just flying away with the weights.
Oh, also, I wanted to talk about my recovery a little bit for other people who are like,
oh yeah.
So
hospital, all of that,
or all of it really.
That's what I just said. All of it.
Oh, sorry. So, my surgery was it's scheduled for 3 p.m. with a 12 p.m. check-in, which was like, oh, because I couldn't eat or drink anything after midnight. So, I was so thirsty. Really? Okay.
I'm laughing at Oak.
I need to charge my phone.
Laugh at her. That's mean.
You're not. You're a dingbat. I guess he's in this now. So.
Co-starring Oak.
Is this gonna be on the internet? Do you care? Guess not. So, anyway, it was hard. Like, I mean, I'm.
I can't take it. I'm sorry. He's like peeking. He needs to get it together. Get it together. It kind of looks like he's smelling your butt.
Well, Coda's like right behind me, and he's talking to him.
Dead ass is right behind you. He's talking to that. So please continue. Aww. Look at those dogs. Hey dog, that's what I meant.
So, I was like, I kind of liked my check-in time because, I mean, of course I wanted it to be like first thing because, like, let's just go, let's do it as soon as possible. So when they told me my check-in time was 12, I was like, as in noon? And I feel like they were going to be like, no, midnight, you idiot. But I was like...
Well, they told me, they were like, be here, you have to be here by 5. I was like, PM? And they were like, AM. And I was like, oh. So I did that too.
But that would make sense if your surgery was like early in the morning. Maybe they want you to spend the night so you won't be late or something.
Yeah,
I'm not a doctor.
exactly.
So
I ain't going back to school.
so like yes, I did want to just go first thing in the morning, but it was nice to just be able to like wake up leisurely and like make sure I had everything in my bag. And the worst thing was being so thirsty and hungry. Like so
Were you
thirsty and hungry.
and thirsty?
Yeah, I was because I was pre-op, so like I was very, very thirsty.
Well, because sometimes, if you're like really anxious or whatever, you might be like, I don't even care.
Well, I mean, I didn't. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm dying because I'm so hungry. Like, I was like, oh, I can't wait till I don't feel hungry anymore. But I wasn't, like, mostly the worst part was the thirst. Like, they gave me a pill, and I had, like, half of one of the, like, medicine cups of water. And I was just like, like, so thirsty. And so I got to the hospital, like, at, like, 11:45. Everything was, like, normal. They brought me back and, like, took my vitals, and then they, got me set up in the room, and then they told me my surgery was scheduled for 3 o'clock, and I was just like, oh my god, like, but they were like, oh well, the doctor's ahead of schedule today, so I ended up going back like around 2 o'clock or like 2:30 or something, and I have a funny story because remember, and you guys that have been watching us for a while, you'll remember how we talked about, like, how we joked when I went for my endoscopy, how I perceived the situation when I was waking up from anesthesia, and I was like, I'm getting dressed. Oh no, I'm fine. I've got it. But in reality, I was probably like, I'm fine. So I pretty much have confirmed that that's probably what happened, because when I was back in my room, like literally like 4 hours after surgery, because I was in recovery, my surgery was like 40 minutes. It was like really fast, and she repaired. I had a hernia apparently, so that got repaired, and the surgery itself was like 40 minutes. She's just like so good, blah blah blah. And then I was in recovery for like 2.5 hours, waking up. And she was asking me, the physician's assistant was asking me a little bit later on, like once I was in my room, like, oh, do you remember anything? And I was like, yeah, like I kind of remember like waking up. And she's like, oh, like what you remember waking up? Oh, I was like, yeah, I remember them saying like, oh, Kandice, you like you're waking up from surgery, like just relax, you're waking up. And she's like, no, it was more like, Kandice, relax, you just had surgery because you were trying to get up and kicking the blankets off of your legs, and we had to have your legs strapped down.
You psychopath.
I was like, I'm out of here. And they were like, Kandice, you just had surgery, please lay down. So apparently I'm really fun to deal with waking up from anesthesia.
I wish they would have told me what I was like when I woke up from anesthesia, but my story is more like, my personal story is more fun when I was going into anesthesia with Liz Taylor being like, you're not gonna wake up, or whatever he said, remember?
Yes, I remember. So they put something into my IV like right before they were gonna wheel me back, and we were talking. At this point, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I remember at the time feeling coherent, and then all of a sudden feeling like, what? And I was like, am I supposed to feel sleepy right now? Because I feel really sleepy. And they were like, we're about to take you into surgery. And I was like, okay. And then I remember, like, I don't remember saying bye to Carrie or Oak because they were both with me waiting. And I remember being in the operating room, and I remember laying on the thing feeling like dead weight. And like I remember when they lifted me over, and I remember feeling bad, like, oh, I'm so heavy. And so like lifting me over to the operating table, and then they put the mask on. They were like, this is just oxygen right now. And then they were like, okay, we're gonna start putting the gas to make you fall asleep. And then they were like, just think of your happy place, and you'll go to your happy place and just relax. And the last thing I remember is trying to decide if I wanted what?
I said, you went right to my face.
Yes. I was trying to decide if I wanted my happy place to be Hawaii or Disneyland. And I was like, oh, what should I choose? What should I choose? And then I was just like waking up when they're like relaxed.
Like, know which one won? She doesn't know because she fell asleep too soon. The anesthesia kicked in.
Yep.
They made me put my own big ass on the operating table. Probably because they were like, nope, too big. You get yourself up there.
Because I was already past the F out. Because I was already
they made me, they wheeled me into, I walked into the operating room. I saw all the lights and was like, oh my God, Grey's Anatomy. And then I like laid on the table and I was like, and then Liz Taylor came over and was just like, you're gonna die. and then I was just awake. But they made me like, come on, get up on the operating table, put your arms on the little boards or whatever. I'm like, okay. And it was like so hard and like sterile in there. And I was just like, but it was fun. I did wake up. Thanks a lot, Liz Taylor.
Yeah. The thing I remember, I didn't have what?
I said I just didn't get to find a happy place.
Well, me neither.
That's true, but you had the opportunity.
Yeah. But once I was back in or like not back, but once I was in my like actual recovery room, I don't remember like the first. Sorry, I have a burp right here. It's like when I'm trying to burp, it's just like foam coming, you know? You know what I'm talking about?
When you get bubbles in your throat that don't come out?
Yeah, when you're trying to burp and like just foam comes out.
Yeah, that never goes away.
Cool.
I mean, it hasn't gone away yet. I still get that.
Like, I just want to burp, but it's just like.
And also, if you ever drink anything carbonated, it's that times like 100. It's very uncomfortable. It's literally just like, it's so gross.
That sounds terrible.
Difference between me and your mother. You know that, right?
She's saying stay away from carbonation because that's the difference between.
I don't even want to try until like a year or something, but.
I know. Carbonation is not good.
Yeah. So since my surgery was at like 2 or 2:30, and then I was in recovery for a little while, I think I was back in my room by like 5 or 6 or something. And then I remember like I would just be like awake and like talking to Oak and Carrie, and then I would just be asleep. And I mean, that's how it was. Like the first night I was just like going in and out of sleep, and I had the TV, like I brought coloring books and my iPad and everything, and I was just like
the first night I woke up really late, kind of like you did, because you woke up at like 2 a.m. and you were texting me like, hello.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of like what I did too. I was like very in and out of sleep, and then like in the middle of the night I woke up and Christina was like Snorlax next to me, and I was like, oh, give me more meds and knock me out because I am bored as hell. And then it was like around Christmas time, remember? Because it was December 2nd. So they were playing all kinds of Christmas movies in the hospital, and I was just like crying in my hospital bed watching like everything. Aww. Like all the Christmas, like weeping, like.
Another thing that first night, I think I was watching Friends or something. Like I wasn't even paying attention to what I was watching because I was just like. So they kept asking me like if I had to pee, and I was just like no, and they're like, okay, well you have to try. It's been like this many hours since surgery or whatever. Like you have to try, and I tried like 3 or 4 times, and no pee was coming out. Like it would just feel like I was about to pee, like that feeling like when you're like about to pee your pants, but I was on the toilet still, and it just wasn't coming out. So that's a common side effect of the anesthesia. So basically my bladder wasn't woken up yet. So I had to have a catheter, which was like not tight.
Did it hurt?
But it didn't hurt. It was, I mean, it was kind of awkward when I was like laying there and she like uncovered the blanket and she's like, okay, can you spread? Like very nice. And I was just like, okay, I can spread. Just, like that was kind of like weird, but I was just like not paying attention, and I was like on drugs, you know, so I know. But the next day was like Carrie and Oak came back in the morning. Oh, also, side note, Oak was like so happy about the cafeteria food, like just going to the cafeteria as much as he could. And Carrie loves cafeteria food too, so they would be like high-fiving going to the cafeteria.
That's weird because Christina was also like that too. Like, bye, going to the cafeteria.
I think it's like something to do also. But
yeah.
So they told me like if you want to go home, you have to walk around.
Oh yeah.
And like you have to, your pain has to be managed. So I never had. I think the highest my pain was like an 8, and then they would give me. I was just taking the oxycodone, which is what they sent me home with, and I only had to take that maybe once or twice a day for like a week after I got home. And then I've just been taking Tylenol and Motrin, and I've been trying to like my sheet that they gave me has how many milligrams and like a schedule. Take it at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. And now that I'm 3 weeks out, like I'm still taking it at those times because if I don't, I get really crampy. But I'm trying not to take like as much. And then during my like first, like once I got home, oh yeah, I like walked a couple laps around, and they were like, "Oh, you're doing great."
Were you mean after surgery? Like, were you grumpy after surgery?
I don't think so. I haven't heard from anyone that I was, and if I was, I don't remember. Hopefully not.
I remember. Sorry for the people that were around me, but I remember being like so irritable. I was just like, I was a bee after surgery. And I remember like I had to check myself even like, hey, chill. Because like one of the times I was like really snapping at Christina, but I was just in pain and I was just like mad that, you know, and I had, since I had to be in the hospital like 2.5 days, I was just like sick of it and I wanted to go home really bad. Yeah. And so I was being rowdy as hell. But
yeah,
did they give you a pillow?
I wasn't even in the hospital. I think I was in the hospital for like 24 hours exactly.
You're lucky.
So that was
I didn't
fun.
have any pee problems or so I didn't have any complications, but for some reason they kept me anyways. Maybe RNY is different though. Yeah, and the pain.
Because if you're having a lot of pain, because that's what they said to me, like I can't go home unless my pain was under a 7 or whatever.
Yeah, and then they were worried about it because they found out pretty soon why I was still having the pain, because then I had to go back in and everything because of the ulcer and all that jazz. Yeah. But they fixed the ulcer too when they were in there.
No, so an ulcer is different than a hernia.
That's what I meant. A hernia. Just forget about it.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that I was going to have more pain than I did. I mean, I did have a couple days of, like, being super nauseous and, like, having more pain. During the first week, it would seem like it was, like, every other day. Like, one day was awful, and then the next day...
Coda, sorry. He's cute. What?
You're weird. So yeah, I would have like one like really rough day, and then I would have like a really great day where I'm like, I'm on the upswing, like everything is swell, and then the next day I'd be like, ugh. But it was never like that bad. Like I would take a nausea pill and it would be like okay, and my pain was like okay. It was more like discomfort. It wasn't like, oh my god, this hurts so much. Like I was never like in agony or anything. And I don't know, I was like surprised. Like it was better than I thought it would be, and I haven't barfed at all. But I don't know what's worse though, like that, like feeling of nausea, like you just
and not being able to throw up. That's worse than actually throwing up, I think.
Yeah.
I would so much rather have the relief of throwing up. A lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people are like, I'll feel nauseous all day as long as I don't actually throw up. But I'm like, you better do it.
I'm not like that. Like I cannot make myself throw up for the life of me. I just hate throwing up so much. But that feeling where you're just like, you just like feel queasy, like every smell, like light, noise, everything is like, So
yeah,
that
like
definitely sucks.
Boat.
But what?
I said, yeah, it's like being on a boat.
Yeah. I also wanted to give some tips to some people. The two of the great things that I feel like were like, of all the tips and every list that I read of like what to bring to the hospital, number one,
our lists might be different. Oh, I didn't have that.
Savior.
That's smart.
Savior. Because you can't like drink and you're so thirsty and you're just laying there in bed, and I would just be like, and it's good for when you get that dry mouth when you smoke.
I should buy some of that because of my medications, I have like crazy dry mouth.
You really should. There's like a mouthwash of it, but that's so good because it's like kind of a concentrate. The texture is kind of gross when you first like spray it in your mouth because it feels like thick, but you just move it around in your mouth and all of a sudden like it's like you just had a glass of water and it's like minty. So you know when you're in the hospital and you can't get up and brush your teeth, and so that was like so great. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, the gas X strips. But honestly, walking around is like what helps the most. Like the gas X strips do help, but walking around is just, it physically like gets it out there because the gas isn't in your digestive tract.
Yeah, it's body gas.
Yeah, so you need to get it out like. However, like the gas X helps with the gas in your digestive tract. That's what the medicine is, but they put gas in you when they do the surgery. So, which is
important for my favorite thing that I brought to the hospital, which was a robe, because I walked around a ton at the hospital in those 3 days. And if I didn't have my robe, then hello, I'm not fashion.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Like having
everything,
having your own like stuff, like that's what helped. Like having my own toothbrush, and like they'll give you stuff if you're like, can I brush my teeth? They'll give you like the hospital one or whatever. But having like your own toothbrush, your own hairbrush, like being able to like put my hair up, and like having my dry shampoo, even though I didn't use it, but just knowing that like I had my stuff, and like my slippers, and like changing into my pajamas, which everyone says like loose bottoms, but for me the thing was no bottoms. I really liked having like my sleep shirt and then like my robe over it, which it's like the same as a gown or whatever, but bring loose bottoms to go home in. You need bottoms, but for walking around, that's what felt best for me.
I agree. I kept the hospital gowns on the whole time, but I just had my robe. And then when I went home, I'm like definitely a nightie person. I like just have my nightie and my robe because I hate pants. They're so restricting.
Normally, normally I just sleep in a t-shirt and underwear anyway. So just doing this thing again. So to feel the most comfortable. Oh, that was another thing I was gonna talk about. Did you have trouble sleeping when you came home? All right, never mind. You have trouble sleeping all the time.
But actually no. Like when I went home because I was on so many pills, I didn't have trouble sleeping because they gave you sleep medicine, right? When you left the hospital, because they gave me sleep medicine for the night before surgery, because they said you get too anxious and you need like help sleeping. So they give it to you before surgery. And then they gave it to me after surgery because they're like, you just need help sleeping. So I had sleeping pills and I had pain pills.
Oh, dang.
So
they didn't give me that, but the nausea pill and the oxy obviously are like drowsy, but like I just didn't want to take the oxy. Like if I didn't feel like I really, really needed it, if my pain wasn't over a 7, I was not going to take it. Oh, also that reminds me, the first couple of days I thought that, because it's obviously you can't take pills, so I got liquid Tylenol and Motrin, like children's. My sheet had like a breakdown of how much, and that shit was making me so nauseous, like more than any protein shake, more than any pain, more than anything. That was the worst. Like so terrible. Nauseous. It's so sweet. It's like drinking syrup. It was so disgusting. And I like needed to take it for my pain. And so after a couple of days, I was like, whatever, I'm taking pills. And I've been taking pills ever since, and it's been fine. They're little, but.
Yeah. Well, I take that stuff 3 times a day. So I know how much it sucks.
The liquid, like Tylenol?
Yeah, because I have to take it with my gabapentin. And because I have to open up the capsule and like I can't take it with water because it's like this really concentrated like dust. So I just put a tiny little bit of the red liquid and mix it into there and it dissolves in there. And I just take that shot every, like in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night, 3 times a day. And that is probably what makes me the most nauseous out of everything too. Like sometimes I have to really brace myself and I'll just be like, I'll go like this and then immediately like, like throw it up because I know what that.
Yeah. And I was having to take like three capfuls, 2 of the Tylenol and like 1 of Motrin, or the other way around. It was just like disgusting. I am so glad when I got the pills. Like that was a game changer for me.
Also, another tip that I have found that might help you or might help other people or whatever is that since you can't take pills and you can't take Excedrin, I don't know if you ever took Excedrin for your headaches.
Not really.
Well, I did. I was like, because you know how I get migraines and stuff, and I was like extreme on the Excedrin train. Well, I can't take that at all anymore. And now it's weird because sometimes my pain pills give me headaches. It's like a side effect of those.
They were better for me than my pain pills.
Yeah, well, when I have a headache now, like from my pain pills or whatever, I'll take a tiny bit of that liquid Tylenol and it goes away so quick, which is so amazing because I was panicking because I'm like, how can I live without taking Excedrin? Like, you do not understand. Like, these migraines are serious business, and if I can't take anything, I'm going to be suffering. But it's weird. I mean, it still sucks. They still happen, but I've found that if I take just a tiny bit of that liquid Tylenol, it goes away.
Interesting.
That's good. Yeah. And I don't know if you usually they say it starts to happen around like 40 to 55 pound loss, but you start getting like hip pain, knee pain, stuff like that.
Really?
Have you experienced? Yeah.
I haven't.
Because my hip hurts so bad. I've never had problems with hip pain before. And now, like, sometimes at night, I can't even sleep. It hurts so bad. Both my hips. I don't know what it is. But it's just the way you're.
Anyway, but.
My doctor said it's normal. Yeah, so I hope yours don't hurt more. But yeah, she said it's normal because your body's trying to, like, your center of gravity is off. And so it's stressing parts of your body that it didn't stress before. So, like, you will have pains in your knee, your shoulder, your hips, whatever. Because the more weight you lose, the more your body changes. And, like, the more rapidly you lose it, obviously, your body can't catch up. So it's like, ooh, ouch.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The one thing that I wanted to talk about today that I felt was like the most important thing that I wanted to talk about, and then after this I'm done talking because I'm sick of my own voice, is that first of all, I'm so grateful for like the online community of support, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or Bariatric Pal or whatever it is. Like, it's so awesome that we live in a time where you can just talk to somebody in a different part of the country, like, so like instantly, and learn from other people's experiences, and like it's so great. But at the same time, I think that people should be conscious if they're looking into this life-changing decision, or if they have already made it, to just really do your own research and follow your own surgeon's orders, because everyone's going to be different. Like, every surgeon is different. People who have had different surgeries have different after plans, either different diets and instructions from people who had, you know, another surgery than you. So you can't just say like, oh, this person has had bariatric surgery, so like, what are they doing? I'm going to do the same thing. Or asking somebody for tips and help and to learn about their experience is one thing, but when you're asking somebody and then you're going to base your decisions off of that, I feel like is reckless. So if you're telling somebody like, oh, or asking somebody rather like, oh, well, what did you do? Because I had my surgery out in the same time as you, so I'm going to do the same thing. Or like, oh, well, my paper says this, but since your paper says that, then it's probably fine. It might be, but also it's just very important to do your own research and follow your own surgeon's plans. Like, not to get too like preachy or anything, but I just personally, I feel like that's very important. And we've all, like, the responsible bariatric patients have basically like been in school for this for at least 6 months, most of us probably a year or longer. So put in the work, because it's worth it to just know yourself and not have to Google something every 5 seconds, or have to ask somebody on Instagram or something, or a Facebook group, whatever it is. Like, do the work and the research yourself. And if you don't know, ask your surgeon, because just because somebody else has had surgery doesn't make them an expert, as much as they might represent themselves to be that way. Like, just because somebody has a lot of followers doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. So for your own safety and your own health and your own best results, like, honestly, like, follow your surgeon's plan. If they say don't have this food until this week, or avoid this until that time, do it. It's what works, and they're doctors and we ain't. So that's all.
I agree. I actually, either it was this morning or last night, I can't remember, but I got a private message from a girl that said she had been following my journey since the beginning, and she hasn't had surgery yet, and I made her decide to get surgery. My journey specifically made her decide to get surgery, and my response to her was like, that I feel I'm honored that you're inspired by my journey. That's really great, and I hope that you can get a lot of good things out of it. But like, don't do it because I did it. Like, don't look at my journey and think it's going to be the same for you, because it won't. Like, It just won't. And I've had to learn that too, because in the beginning I was like doing the same thing, like, oh man, I can't wait to be at that point. I can't wait to be at that point. Like, this person weighs the same as me. They have a similar body type, so I'm probably going to lose weight like them. And I can, if I eat that, then I'm going to gain weight like that. And I'm, like, I was very like, oh, like very overwhelmed with information on the, like, specifically on Instagram, like the weight loss community on Instagram. And I had to like slowly learn that, like, I'm different. My body's different. It loses weight different. It gains weight different. It changes my moods differently. Like, I mean, everything is different, because there's girls that are doing the same like keto diet or whatever as me. And they're like, like, you're so lucky. How do you lose weight so fast? And I'm like, I'm not. And like, you don't know my whole story. Like, you just never know. Instagram is highlights. It's not people's actual life. And so people are basing decisions off of my story. Like, that's not okay. Like you said, you need to do the research, put in the work. Like, I did this for 14 months before I went under the knife. And I feel like it was the best decision for me based on what I learned for myself. So yeah, I'm just seconding what you said, but yeah, I agree.
Yes.
And this is a 1X dress, by the way. And my stats, since you asked, are I am 278 right now. And so I have officially lost over 100 pounds now. And yeah, I'll do a little, okay, let me move the chair. Let me move the chair into the way. So this is my super svelte body now. But mostly I feel like my face has changed and my boobs are smaller.
She looks ridiculous all over. Ridiculous fit.
What did she
Ooh,
say?
Grandma said I look ridiculous good all over.
Well, yeah.
And I can't wait for 5 weeks so when we can both look ridiculous good together and walk down the street strutting our stuff. Aw, Coda looks good too.
Okay, everyone, attention. We just thought of this really good idea, so we're gonna tell you. In a few weeks or like a month or something, I'm going to be in California, so we will be together. By we, I mean us sisters.
Yep.
But we'll be together with you watching also. But we are gonna do a video together, like in person, sitting, and we thought sitting. We thought it would be fun if you guys wanted to ask us any questions or any kind of like interactive anything, because normally we're talking to each other, but we'll be together, so it'll be really fun to talk to you guys also. So if you have questions, put them below, or message either one of us on Instagram. Our handles are below. And yeah, we want to have it be like with you, or if you have like a song request you want us to sing, or if you want us to try like any new dance moves, we'll do that too.
We'll try a dance move. We'll try a song. We'll try it. We'll try it.
We'll do anything. We're crazy.
We're just wild. Do a dare. Just put a dare down there. We'll do it.
Back to your. Let her rip.
Somebody will hear me.
So I'm sorry that came to me and I had to do that. But so we're in the middle of your stats.
Yeah, it's just that I have 100 pounds down. I'm 5 months out as of the 2nd of this month. Yep. 5 months post-op, down 100. Let's see. I'm not making my protein and liquid goals every day, but not because I'm not able to, but because I just had some personal issues and I have been slacking. But I'm trying to get back on the wagon now and drink more and eat more and Zumba more and all of that. My family had to relocate, so I have to get used to my new surroundings.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is actually a good area for us to like walk the dogs and stuff. So I think I'm going to start.
You can just like go on walks around the block and.
Yeah, because it's a really nice neighborhood. So I think we're going to like start walking the dogs and doing that because that will get my steps in.
And that will be so good for the dogs too, to get some energy out. So then they'll just be like tired and quiet all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect idea. I mean, they play outside, but really they only care about naps. They're like, when can we come inside so we can lay on the bed?
Yeah. Hold on, baby.
He was just like this behind you.
Yeah, he is.
He's a creep.
Yeah. He don't feel good.
He's so good. He's just a baby.
He's going.
Oh yeah, we can. One more thing, you can either like stick this in the middle, or I don't care, stick it at the end, or whatever. Do whatever you want with it. Yeah, stick it up there. I wanted to talk about extra skin because like obviously I talked about like these, but I have like milk and little legs, and also like a lot of extra skin on my stomach. Like I could like twist the front of my stomach. It's just like,
yeah, when you sent me that picture today, I couldn't believe it. Like obviously your stomach has shrunken like so much, so it's not like surprising, but just to see that already, I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't either. Like when I was looking at myself, because I try not to look at myself nude a lot because it upsets me. But when I have clothes on, I don't notice that it's like that much. And I was like leaning forward and like trying to see how like what hung off of my abdomen. And like I could legit see that I have a real like shape. It's crazy. And then I went like that and I was like, oh my God. Because like I like it like made these lines on my stomach and everything. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. And it's just gonna go away more and go away more. And my under boobs are going away more, which is amazing. And my back boobs are going away
I cannot
more.
wait for my back boobs to go down. So I'm already going through the like, I feel like I look the same as I did, blah blah blah. Like I'll admit I can see some differences in my face because I'm observant to like everything on my face. Like I can see, oh, like my face is swollen because I ate too much salt or whatever. Like I'm just very like aware of that. But my body, I can't tell the difference from when I was at my highest weight until now. Can't tell.
You will though. And like I still have days where I look in the mirror and I legit see the same person. I still see like a gigantic 100-pound more than me person. And it's hard because some days I'm like, dang girl, you look good. And some days I'm like, dang, like I have so far to go. And it's just like, it's such a mental trip too. And obviously
it's hard. Like, yes, like Allie my roommate keeps like being like, oh my gosh, every day she was like, look at you, you're so tiny, what are you wearing? Because I'm wearing this like bralette thing, which I tried on just for fun and it fits me and I'm just like, Wah! But so that's like I know that's obviously
kind of how this dress looks today.
Yeah, like I know like obviously it's changing and like seeing some of my other clothes that are like bigger or like that fit bigger and stuff, but I just feel like I don't look it. And so when she says something like that, like, oh my gosh, you're looking tinier, I'm like, don't patronize me. Yeah. Because I'm just like, you're wrong. Like, you're making it up.
Yeah. But I see that your face looks thinner. Definitely, I see it in your face. Because in our last video, we talked about how you were going to mail me clothes, and I was like so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you did for everyone else. She did mail me clothes, and every single thing fit me. And it was like this crazy mind-blowing experience, except for 2 bathing suit bottoms, which were, drum roll please, too big. So I couldn't wear those. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with everything you gave me. I'm so obsessed. And Christina's bringing more.
Do you want to see the stuff that I'm going to send you?
Yes. Should we say like our goodbyes or what?
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, let's do it. Well, that's everything, I guess.
Well, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Thanks for watching, as always. Stay tuned for the outtakes. Are we doing a close-up?
Yeah, we're doing a close-up. And then I started backsliding.
I hate myself right now, like so much.
Well,
avocado eyes.
Avocado goggles. We always have a dance.